Bring you back to ringside at Foxwoods in Connecticut, where Prince Naseem Hamed prepares now for another theatrical, although tonight relatively brief, ring entrance, and Augie Sanchez will be coming into the ring first. But before we get to them, you've already noticed tonight that we have a live hookup with Roy Jones, the world light heavyweight champion and #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, who's sitting by in Pensacola, Florida. Roy preparing for that TVKO title defense coming up September 9 against Eric Harding. And Roy, thanks again for joining us. Earlier this year, you fought David Telesco at Radio City Music Hall. It was a mismatch. You won every minute of every round. Then you fought a fighter named Richard Hall at the Conseco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. It was a mismatch. You won every minute of every round. Aren't we likely to be looking at the same thing against Eric Harding?
Well, I can't really say we're looking at the same thing, but you also have to look at back in 1992, I fought Bernard Hopkins. I thought I won every round. 94, I fought James Toney. I thought I won every round. I just like to do my job exceptionally good. I like to go out there and make sure that there's no doubt. I like to try to win by as big a margin as I can.
So is that the heart of the matter in the pay-per-view attraction? Tune in to watch another virtuoso performance by Roy Jones, the world's best fighter, and see if he can win every round?
Not only that, there's always other things involved around Roy Jones Jr. There's a theatrical entrance that I cannot stop doing because I love doing this. Actually, Hype Williams is helping me choreograph my entrance to the ring for this fight. This is a big fight for me because it's in New Orleans. All my fans from back when I was 10 years old can come watch me fight now. So I think it's a beautiful thing, and proceeds from the fight will go to the Muhammad Ali Foundation to help feed starving children all over the world.
Are you willing to tell us that Eric Harding is better than we think he is?
Well, he broke the guy's jaw last time. He broke his rib and his jaw. So obviously he punches a little harder than we thought he did. But it doesn't matter because he's in trouble, just like anybody else who come across Roy Jones. You know, when I come to do my thing. I don't have time to tell you that he's good or bad because it doesn't make me no difference. I'm coming there to do what Roy does best, win.
Light heavyweight business, Roy, because Darius Mikulszewski is an unbeaten fighter and because he holds a version of the light heavyweight championship, there are people starting a groundswell on the websites and in the magazines. You've told us in the past about some of the obstacles facing the possibility of a title defense against Darius Mikulszewski. Is there any more action on that front?
No, there's no more action because from what I'm seeing, he's not doing anything any different. As a matter of fact, they gave David Telesco one of the most terrifying contracts for a fight that I've ever seen. I'm actually glad that whichever one of them got hurt, so that David Telesco didn't get treated so bad. And it's ridiculous the way that some people treat people. I mean, if he wants to be a man and be like I am, do like I did. David Telesco followed me asking to fight. The first opportunity I got, I gave him a clean, fair fight. He made good money, and he got everything that he asked for. Now they're trying to enslave the kid just because he wants a shot. If Darius is so good, tell him to accept those fights and give the guys a fair deal. Then he can come see me. But with the way he's talking to those guys, it tells you how he talks to me. When I sent my people to talk to them, they wanted the bigger share of the money. I got 5 titles. I'm pound for pound the best fighter in the world. Who do I have to duck? Come to me and you can get it. And you know that. I don't duck nobody. Tito say he wants to come up. I wish he was up here tomorrow. Whoever wants to come get Roy, no. All you have to do is say the word and it's done.
All right, well, let's talk about business outside the light heavyweight division. You've talked about heavyweights, and the headlines followed that around. It hasn't happened. Now we're hearing the possibility of a big meeting with Felix Trinidad a year and a half, 2 years down the road, and that would require him to come all the way up to 168 and you to go down 7 pounds. Is this the new tack for improving your place in history, is the possibility of going down to fight Trinidad?
No, it's not doing anything for my place in history. It's just that I love a challenge. Anybody that wants to step up and challenge me, it's very difficult for me to not take it. And if Felix says he wants to come up and face me, it's like my problem is going to be waiting for a year or a year and a half, because when I hear that, my teeth start grinding, my fists start just moving real fast at night when I'm trying to sleep, because I cannot stand to see a challenge and not be able to get to it. So when he says things like that, he needs to be ready now if he's going to say it, because I don't want to wait 2 years down the line or a year and a half. I want to go now. So whatever comes up first is what I take.
All right. Thanks very much for your time, Roy. Looking forward to seeing you in New Orleans on September 9. TVKO will bring it to you live. the battle between Roy Jones and Eric Harding for Jones's World Light Heavyweight Championship. On the same card, Marco Antonio Barrera returns to action for the first time since his all-out, unforgettable war with Eric Morales in February of this year. That's significant because Barrera is seen as one of the primary markers in Prince Naseem Hamed's career. Down the road, will Hamed eventually take a fight against Barrera, who is one of the world's best at 122 pounds and will be moving up now to 126. Well, Barrera and Morales are superstar fighters, but of course all business at 122 and 126 pounds revolves around Prince Naseem Hamed because of his unique appeal inside and outside the ring. It can't be a happy circumstance for those fighters to hear Naz say he's getting better as he learns to box.
It was a big joke. I wasn't really taught anything. Very, very unprofessional. I was just fooling myself. I wasn't training as a world champion then.
After a lackluster win over Wayne McCullough in October 1998, Naseem Hamed effected a publicized, bitter split with trainer Brendan Ingle. Naz had grown tired of the way his career was handled by his lifelong mentor.
Just imagine walking in the gym every day, basically, and just doing whatever you wanted. Just, you know, wrapping your own hands, going on a certain bag, going on the pads, doing the same repetition on the pads, sparring to the body. And I was just training without nobody's advice, nobody's guidance, nobody's training methods.
In came Oscar Suarez, and immediately he recognized the confusion and lack of discipline in the champion's corner.
He couldn't believe how Naseem used to train. You know, he used to walk in the gym when he wanted, train whatever time he wanted. We really didn't have a set program. I knew the minute I started training him that he definitely need to be trained in a different way. The way they train him and this and that, you know, I seen amateur trains better than that. He never did a sit-up, he never did a pull-up, he never did any proper running. Oscar brought all that really to the table.
Suarez went to work on the out-of-shape champion's strength and endurance. He then turned to basic technical flaws, subject to criticism throughout Hamed's career.
He said to me that we've got to work on balance, and you've got to work on your combinations, and when you've thrown so many shots, being prepared and leaving your hands basically near your chest so you can throw, so you can regroup and throw more.
When you have a fighter that is a one-punch artist, they don't realize sometimes that speed is power. No, and I told them that you look better when you throw a 3 or 4 punch combination and hurt someone and finish them on a combination.
In preparation for his fight against Paul Ingle, Naseem got more than a taste of Suarez's demanding training camp.
Now, I'd never trained 10 weeks in the whole of my life for a fight. The most I'd train was maybe 4 or 5 weeks before a fight. That's what I used to do then. And it was just a joke to Oscar when he heard this.
Hamed's 11th round stoppage of Ingle was followed by a foul-infested wrestling match win over Cesar Soto last December in Detroit. Critics were digging their claws into the champion, who was still adjusting to his new regimen.
I realized that was only my second fight with my new trainer, and I knew that I was going to progress and improve in the best ways in the future.
Superstar trainer Emmanuel Stewart had been a late addition in Hamed's corner against Ingle, and then co-trained him for the fight against Soto. Both Hamed and Suarez try to counter rumors that Emmanuel's presence is again a source of turbulence in the camp.
The times that we've been together, we agree on everything. You know, why? Because we are professionals, you see? And that's what it's all about.
I'm being trained by Oscar Suarez. Every training camp I've been to, I've been trained by Oscar Suarez, not Manny Stewart.
Against Buyani Bungu last March, Stewart and Suarez took turns counseling the fighter between rounds of Hamed's convincing 4-round knockout victory.
For the Bungu fight, I trained unbelievable, and everything just clicked. I boxed great. In my eyes, it was a perfect performance. I went to the body, broke down the body, put him in a tight suit, took him out.
Now we're told Suarez has established himself as Hamed's #1 trainer and only corner voice. In preparation for tonight, they spent 9 weeks in seclusion at Big Bear. Further evidence of Naz's newfound dedication to the sport.
The only thing a fighter can think about is basically becoming victorious and finding out the best way of doing his job, and to be single-minded and to be focused on what he's doing. And at this moment in time, I'm 100% that.
Whether Oscar Suarez has successfully eliminated the flaws that Hamed himself claims were removed after the McCullough fight remains to be seen. The future of his career, continuing moments from now, will provide the ultimate answer. So there you have it, George. At 34-0 with 30 knockouts, Prince Naseem says he's just now learning to fight. Good news or bad news for Naz fans?
I think it's good news because he's honest. And that's the last thing you expect from boxers is honesty. If he's learning and he's telling the truth, that means that the other fighters are going to be in a lot of trouble for a long time.
Well, we shall see. There are plenty of big fights on the table if Naz can arrange to take them somewhere down the road. And Larry Merchant, Augie Sanchez comes in here after so many people turned down the fight. Marco Antonio Barrera and Derek Morales, noteworthily, neither of them really ready to take this fight so quickly after their huge war in February. There were at least 4 other better-known fighters who turned down the opportunity to be here. So here comes Sanchez. 27 fights. He's never been past the 7th round. He's never fought a name opponent. Is there any chance he can be competitive with Naz here?
Jim, the first thing that comes to mind is that the other day he had to show identification in order to get into a casino. You have to be 21 here to get into the casinos. The appearance of this fight is that it's a kind of tune-up for another Prince tune-up. But just in case the challenger turns out to be competitive, here's why it would have happened. He was a top amateur. He beat Diego Corrales, the 130-pound champion who's unbeaten. He beat Floyd Mayweather Jr. in one of their 4 fights, another 130-pound champion, as an amateur. So he's got some stuff going. He can punch a little bit. Just as well that he hasn't gone all those more than 7 rounds because he's taken guys out. That can't count against him. Further than that, he is called Kid Vegas from Las Vegas. Maybe he'll get lucky. He once did get lucky. As a 9-year-old in a boxing tournament, there was another 9-year-old who was a round card girl. That 9-year-old, named Dawn, turned out to be his wife. That's a long shot.
Yeah, but they're total favorites together now. And here's the tail of the tape for Augie Sanchez against Prince Naseem Hamed. You can see that Sanchez is 22 years old and a young-looking 22. That's why he got carded to get into the casino. 2 inches in height advantage, 3 inches in reach advantage. They weighed in at 126, and once again, the local commission here does not allow us to weigh the fighters in their dressing rooms before the fight, so we can't tell you how much weight they've gained since yesterday's weigh-in. Punch that number.